Yo.
Yo.
What's up?
What's up?
Kick and stop my heart, baby. That one was for Wasp. We saw that she won tonight's booby prize, but she's getting liposuction. Only problem is coupons are only redeemable in the Ukraine. So that's where you got to go, kid. Sorry, I can't do anything about it. That's where they give us the deal. Welcome, folks. Hi, Gutter. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Yank?
I'm in pretty good shape for the shape I'm in. I can tell you that. Happy February 28th, 2023 on a Tuesday night. This is the last day of African American History Month, I guess. So thank you guys for all that you've done. That's cool. But it's all over now and we're back to normal. Hi everybody. Hope you're doing well. Are we going to run through the list of everybody here, Gutter?
I think
so. That I can only go back so far. Yeah. Oh no, I go back right to the beginning. All right. We got Lee Sugar Britches in the house. If you'd like to do the hellos, you can. Please feel free. It's easier for you to read than me.
Okay. Well, and that means that Sugar Britches, she won the Chi-Chis, or no, Wasp did. Is that what you said?
Wasp did. Yes.
Oh, I see.
Wasp was first.
Okay, Wasp, and she's getting lipo. She's decided. Okay, got it. Now I'm catching up. You had to give me a minute.
That's it. Just a minute.
That's right. So anyways, Wasp, howdy, ma'am. I feel like you're feeling better since we've seen you just a hair more.
We certainly hope so.
And Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. The Bacalino way. Yo, way.
Fly crew.
Oh, Fly Paper's here. Is he going to stick around? Ha ha. Fly
paper. Fly paper. That's that sticky stuff that flies stick to. Is that what
is. That's exactly what it is. I'm going to put some around and make him stay. Hi, Mishka. You're the cool peeps.
And Hal.
Oh, Hal. Hey, Hal.
And Ann.
Hello, Hal. Hi, Ann. Good to see you.
And, of course, Mr. Black Sheep, Tony G.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony G is in the house. The infamous sneaky bastard.
And Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
And who else do we got? We got Justine.
Ooh, hey, Justine. Good to see you.
She's on the coast of England. The windy
ma'am.
south coast of England.
Whoa.
That just sounds chilly.
It does. It's always raining there.
And David.
Flashback to the 80s, son. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Kai. What the hell? Where am I?
Hi, Kai. Ooh, we're jumping all over.
My chat kind of disappeared. Oh, Missy's here too.
Hey, Missy. Always present, Missy. How are you, kid?
And Kaylin.
Hi, Kaylin. Thanks for coming.
And Mick.
Yo, Mick.
So the gang's all here.
Get up, because Mickey loves you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, looks like we got a pretty good crew tonight already.
Yep, I agree. So my week went like this.
Hi, Shaz.
It snowed, Shaz. And it didn't do anything else but snow. Well, I mean, it only snowed, but it's for one day. But in that one day, it snowed 10.5 inches.
Are you complaining? Are you actually a woman who's complaining? You got 10.5 inches and you have the audacity to complain?
Yeah, well, if it was 10 inches of something worthwhile, but it was fucking snow.
Oh.
And nobody can drive in it. You can't go anywhere because they won't plow any roads. And of course, because you live in the city, you just drive a 2-wheel drive. And so, yeah.
I'll tell you.
It's okay, though, because Marvin had to spend 2 nights at the airport sleeping in an airplane. So let's just say he's pretty dedicated, but also it made him want to retire a little quicker. So
I can imagine.
I think it's going to happen a little quicker.
Now, when you say he was sleeping in an airplane, was he sleeping in like a passenger liner, those ones that give you like 10 inches between seats? Or was it
he's sleeping in a little 78 passenger airplane.
Oof.
That he takes a cowling cover when they work on the engine. They'll take a cover, this 3-inch thick foam, and cover the cowling with it so the engine doesn't burn you. And he took one of those and laid it down and then grabbed his raincoat, used that for a pillow, and slept with this coat on. And see, he was in the hangar. The plane was in the hangar, but yeah, and
that does not sound like a good time.
2 nights in a row.
Marv, cheers to you, sir. But you need to retire. That's a young man's game to do shit like that, sir.
Yeah, it's time.
I bet you those joints and bones felt fantastic when you got up.
Well, I'm telling you, I told him, I said, well, so I don't have to pay them anymore to make you stay there again to get you to retire quicker. I'll do whatever it takes. I'm ready for him to fucking retire. Do it.
I got it in with the people who plow the roads. From now on, there'll be no roads plowed. Only when Marv's working.
They're gonna go dump. They're gonna go dump snow all the way around it. Well, the problem was he couldn't get home either because they're in like a hole. Well, because they only have 50 snow plows to the whole city of Portland, they couldn't plow that road, and so I guess it wasn't important enough. And even though they still have planes coming in and landing and going out, but now you don't got no workers going there because they can't get in or out.
Excuse me, I might sneeze. God damn, I hate that. Mick said Chicago has had a strange winter. A few inches of snow and only a few days in low 20s and colder. Yeah, we've been having some weird weather around the country, Mick. It's kind of all over the place. Unlike Gutter, who gets snow, I get 90 degrees. It was 90 degrees Thursday and it was 90 degrees Friday, and it has not been comfortable, to say the least. Most of February, most of the winter time down here, it's been a little too hot for me. Normally,
wear a hat.
I have to wear a hat. Back here on my head is so sunburned and it's peeling because I went out Thursday and Friday and I did some work outside in the yard and I got sunburned bad. But go ahead.
One of the funniest things to me is a burnt head. I'm telling there's something about my brother-in-law. He was always pretty bald, and every summer his bald spot would blister really bad. And
yep.
I mean, by the time he was, 34, he was completely bald on the top, and it would constantly blister, and it looked so funny.
Oh, it's sad, man. No, it's a bummer.
I used to make fun of him.
It's not a bald spot. It's a solar panel for a sex machine. I'm going green.
Yeah.
I'm following the green agenda. But this winter was pretty bad in the sense that normally I get to at least put on a sweatshirt. And I didn't have to at all this winter. It was just not cold enough to. And when I say cold, that's reasonably speaking for Florida, say 50s or 40s or somewhere in the morning. But didn't even have that. I think maybe twice. or once or twice we had it in that lower temperature in the morning. Other than that, that's it. So we're getting wacky weather all over the place. I have to blow my nose. It's driving me crazy. So let me turn this off for a second.
Okay. Yeah, David, the Dalles they get really lots of wind anyways. And then I know what you're talking about. It was years ago, the ice storm, and we've had a couple ice storms, and one was really, really, really bad. It was like we were out. I think we were out of electricity. I don't know, for days. It was bad.
Doing lines, man. Nobody saw that, right? I'm kidding. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay.
Missy said they got their first snow last night. And
wow,
now it's going to be
snow.
in the 50s on Thursday. And then they wonder why, the trees don't want to grow, and because, they don't know nature don't know what to do.
Yeah. Wow. First snow. Okay. Yeah. Show off. I don't think so, man. I tell you, I could use the break. I always say it. You don't know what it's like living in paradise till you live here, and it's not paradise if it's every day is the same. It sucks. It sucks.
I don't really want it 90. I just kind of want to chase 70. That's where
see, that's what I'm saying. Like if I could get a steady couple months of even 78, 80, that'd be fine. Cooler at night so I can open the windows and shit. I could get a lot of stuff done outside the house. But when you wake up in the morning and it's 78 and within 2 hours of the sun coming up, it's going to be mid 80s. You're like, I just don't want to go outside and do anything. I don't even want to start anything. I got to get up literally at 4 a.m, work in the dock so I don't die. It's a bummer. But yes, a couple of steady weeks of mild weather would be nice. Not one day 70 something and the next day 85. And that's how it is. They don't last. Nobody strings them together. And I don't want to bitch too much because some people have rough weather. Hal said it was 60 here today in Indianapolis and supposed to be 70 tomorrow. So we're coming into March, right? What is it? Is it April? April showers bring May flowers, right? That's the saying. So that's technically spring, April.
Right.
Okay. When does winter end for the rest of the country? Like, what's the month?
First day of spring is always around March 20th.
Okay. So yeah, we're coming out of it then. See, that's the other thing. I lose all sense of seasons. They don't mean anything. I don't remember. I don't remember Labor Day. I don't remember, beginning of summer, end of summer cookouts. What the fuck's the difference? They're the same.
Well, I remember them, but it don't fucking matter. It rains here, like,
See, I don't know how you do that.
Fucking year.
I don't know how you live there, man. I don't like constant heat or a lot of rain. I get the gray day depression shit. So if it's always like raining and gray, cloudy, I fucking hate that.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Dude, why do you think I'm such a bitch?
Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know if you had one of those little light boxes on the side or something,
I need one. I need
do you really?
one of those, like those sun. Seriously,
yes.
I would take one of those sun boxes just so that I think it would help both of us, like me and Marvin, because we can get really grumpy. And I really believe that a lot of it is because of the weather.
Oh, I can imagine.
Gray. I mean, even if it's not raining, it's gray fucking clouds like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
And like when I was back home, I used to get that, like I said, the gray depression shit towards the end of the winter when it's been a long winter and everything's gray and there's no fucking leaves on anything. That stick shit. I fucking
Yep.
hate that. I hate that I got to have a little greenery or a little color. Otherwise, I get all pissed off. Answered, this has been the coldest winter she can remember here in Southern California. Yeah, you guys got snow in Southern California. That's crazy, man. And to be honest, good, because now maybe you guys will stop bitching about the drought. Maybe you guys will get enough snow in the mountains to refill some of the shit you're all using up. Some of that water. Some of that H2O. Yankee has that sweaty ball weather. Yes, absolutely. They stick to your thighs. It's gross. Pass the yayo. Yayo. Miss Pew Pew Guru. How you doing? Who is that? Do we know who that is? Mrs. Pew Pew Guru.
You know who that is. You know who that is.
I do? Oh, no. Is that, oh, no. Is that Pew Pew?
Keep reading. You'll see. We got 4 likes out of it, so we'll just let them go.
Okay.
If somebody don't like them, they can block them.
No blocking. Just, yeah.
I'm not behind. I know exactly where you're at there, Corn Pop.
Yes, Bobby. About what the weather's like where they're at. I get it. Gardening planting season is coming. The time is to start planting things in the garden text channel on Discord. Oh, you bastard! You're doing a gardening channel on the Discord, huh? You prick. Well, I'm looking into hydroponics. I'm gonna maybe do some hydroponic stuff with PVC fence post 4x4s and some tubing, and we're gonna see what we can try to grow that way. So yeah, the gardening thing is gonna happen. You're not pushing any buttons or saying anything, daughter. Dead air. Dead air.
I'm looking at Discord.
Don't be looking at Discord. Stay here live. We're here. Fuck Discord. Discord is for homos.
Look at him. He's gritting his teeth at me, you guys. Did you see that?
Discord is for trannies.
I can just see you doing that. Stay here.
It was 45 degrees Celsius and minus 49 degrees Fahrenheit here last week. That was fun. Holy shit. Minus 49? Minus 49. What the hell are you? The Arctic Circle? Kayleen.
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. 45, Kayleen. Minus 45. Minus 49 degrees. Yeah. I know. Nah. No, I'm out. I'd be out.
Yeah.
No.
Is this the Weather Channel? All right, Corn Pop. That's actually a good comment. No, it's not. Do you want to check Messenger? I sent you a couple. Blah, blah, blah.
Where are you guys posting? I didn't see it.
Up your vitamin D. Up your vitamin D. You up your D intake. Got her's getting 10.5 inches up her end. I mean, where she is, of snow.
Say snow. Say snowing right now.
Snow. I forgot to on Discord, to be honest. I'll work on that. Okay. Have I used the power? Wait, how do you know I have a Power Netty pot? How do you know I have one of those? I actually just got one. I have not used it yet. I'm afraid. I don't like the feeling of drowning, and I have a feeling that feels an awful lot like drowning. But yeah, I have one. That's crazy. How do you know that? You must be psychic, or you spying on me.
I don't know, but let me just tell you that anything plastic, Don't be putting anything that has water in it, that you're going to put water in, that you're going to put in your nose. Don't put it in something plastic. Make sure it's glass.
Why?
Because plastic is really bad for growing bacteria, and you're sticking that shit in your nose. Those plastic neti pots are the nastiest things.
Gotcha. So make sure you snort Coke through a glass tube.
Exactly.
Straws are bad.
Duh. I mean,
I know.
Drug. You ought to be able to have a glass straw, for fuck's sake.
It's crazy what it's crazy what some people will do Coke through or on or off. Strip his asses, keys, knives, the top of toilet tanks in the bar. I mean, Christ. I don't know how anybody's brain is still functioning. Speaking of drugs, did you happen to see that that woman giving congressional testimony today, that mother on the fentanyl thing and talking to the kids? I mean, I didn't know. Did you see it?
I didn't.
Okay, yeah, it was pretty moving, you know, if you're a normal person, but if you're a fucking lunatic like I am, it didn't really hit you in the feels the way it was supposed to. All I kept thinking of is two questions. Where's the dad? Because she lost two sons to fentanyl, right? She says poisoning, and I guess the story was that they got some black market Percocet that weren't Percocet. They were strictly fentanyl, so they dropped like fucking rocks. I don't know if they took them at the same time. I don't know if it was separate, but they were, teenage boys, I think, or late teens, maybe early 20s, something like that. But two questions kept coming to my mind was, where's dad? And why are your kids dumb enough to be doing that in the first place? Not doing fentanyl, but I'm going to trust pills off the internet. What's that?
And have you sat and talked with your kids about what the fuck's going on in the world right now? I mean,
thank you.
Let me tell you, it's one of the reasons that I don't go in a store without grabbing one of those wipes and wiping off the cart. I ain't worried about getting a fucking cold from the cart or the flu or anything like that. But for one, I've seen people pick their nose and then grab the cart. That grosses me out. Or itch your ass and grab the cart. And so it grosses me out. But number two is fentanyl doesn't take much. And you grabbing the cart, if it's on the cart, it could, it seeps straight into your skin, through your skin. So, it could fuck you up or kill you. So I just wipe it. I wipe it off just to make sure.
Right.
So, but that's the kind of scary shit that can, really that could happen. Just going in a store and touching shit.
Absolutely could, man. We live in a very freaky world, man. And if you're not having serious talks with I get it. Kids are going to be kids and kids are going to experiment and do things and all this shit. But it's just hard for me to, this isn't like the conversation my parents had with me about drugs, right? When I was a kid. This is something completely different. This is, like you said, a couple little bit of the wrong thing in this and you're fucking dead. This isn't, oh, well, you'll be an addict and blah, 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 blah. You're dead. You know what I mean? So you have to have these conversations with children. And I don't know what kind of mom this was. From the pictures that I saw, she seemed like she was a good mother, seemed like come from upscale, up class kind of woman. Her kids were I saw one kid in a picture and, typical button down shirt and khakis kind of kid. You would have never thought was doing that shit. But still, by the same token, she lost two kids. So she had two dummies. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be
I got to tell you that one of my big things with my kids when they were teenagers was when they came home from the dentist and the dentist had given them pain pills, or if they came from the doctor and they'd gotten pain pills, those pain pills weren't left for my kids to decide when they needed one.
Mm.
I took those pain pills and I made sure of when they needed them to make sure that that kind of shit wasn't happening. Because and I talked a great deal with my kids about why I believe pills were like one of the worst things that you could do regarding any type of drug to get you high or anything like that. I mean, I went into great lengths with them about why I thought they were really bad, and and so because of that, I think it did help. Now, that's not to say that my kids probably didn't try their fair share of whatever growing up. I'm not naive enough to think that they didn't. But I also know that my mom pumped shit into my head. One of them was, don't you be getting no fucking tattoos. And I mean, it was pumped into my head. And I have to tell you, I am tattoo free to this day. And I did the same thing with my kids. And it's my belief that to not have tattoos. I mean, I truly believe I don't want any tattoos, and I don't think you should be getting that shit on. And it's not really my belief. It's just that I think it looks like shit, that straight up. I just do. So, especially on girls, I do. Just do. I don't care. Yeah. My aunt's tattoo artist. I've told her for years. She knows it. Everybody knows it. I just think that's the way it is. But I think that it's like with anything, if you teach your kids about something, it will 9 times out of 10 transfer to them. They will have those same types of beliefs a lot of times, and so on and so forth. And I do believe that that's you being a parent. You put into your kids what you believed was the right thing to do. So
yeah.
I mean, what the other thing was that I did always try to teach my kids was I did want them to think for themselves. I really did want them. Now, that isn't to say that I wanted them to just go do whatever, but what I wanted them to be able to do was use common sense instead of just immediately going, nope, they said that's the way it is. And I want you to really think about it. They told you this. They told you to go down that road that is a dead end, but they told you that's how you'll get back to town. If they told you that was to go that way, do you really think that's a good idea? So, I always tried to give my kids that whole idea of thinking for themselves and not just immediately taking somebody's word for it. So, but that's not to say anybody's ever done shit right, the best for their kids either. You just kind of do what you think is best. And so I don't know, but we kind of got off track. But I kind of think it's the same way with,
Sure. I mean, I agree with you. You got to talk to your kids and you got to teach them. But then there's that fine line, and I can't say I know where it is because I don't have any children, and it's easy for me to judge and whatnot. But I can't say with me as a kid, I grew up pretty strict in a pretty strict house, and that kind of forced me to be a little rebellious, and do things against the grain of what was expected of me. So I guess you got to kind of walk that fine line. I don't know, man. Parenting is a hard job. And the second thing I thought about, but I am in a pretty much agreement with you. But the second thing that came to mind when you were talking about tattoos was you said you don't have any tattoos. So does that mean that picture that Marv showed me of what he said was your ass with the big tramp stamp that says open for business is not you?
Yeah, wasn't mine.
Oh, shit. You better have a talk with Marv then. I'm just kidding. No, and
I mean, to each their own if they want tattoos. Now, that's not insane that I would still say to my kids. I mean, I just, I don't know. I just don't. Here's one of my scenarios, and this is from working with old people a lot. Was the whole thing of how that tattoo looks nothing like what it started out to be. And sometimes, let me tell you what, it can be mistaken for very different things. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah.
really did try to rub off fucking tattoos before, thinking it was shit or food or something that it was like, oh, finally they're going,
Yeah.
ow, ow, no, that's not. What are you doing? This one lady,
Yep.
hers was actually clear down here. It was clear down here, but it was supposed to be up here, and it was like a bird. It was like a bird here, but for some reason, like her skin had really drifted down this way, and it was supposed to be littler birds over this way. Well, yeah, it was. I had no
Wow.
idea. I didn't realize that whole thing was her tattoo.
Yeah, listen, man, I can that's crazy but I can seriously vouch for the idea of tattoos look great when you get them, but when you get older, you fucking hate what you pick most of the time. When if you get them when you're younger, you're like, why did I get that stupid thing? Because I have tattoos and I keep them covered up most of the time because I hate them. And now they look like shit because now they're 50 fucking almost 50 years old, and being in the sun and scars and up and down weight, all that kind of shit, losing muscle mass, they don't look the same, man. They don't look good at all.
Right.
So I'm all for it. Don't get tattoos. And yes, especially if you're a woman. I don't know what the big thing is now. I don't know what is going on with these girls of today. They look like they have tattoos like I
Fucking
used to see
tapestries.
old sailors have
Yeah.
tattoos. They are just covered.
Well, I
They're
have
gonna
a
regret
friend,
that
and
shit.
she's got them clear up here on her forehead.
That's so stupid.
And it comes down. It's all the way on her face right here. She's a car salesman. It comes around this way, around, and then she's got another one that comes over this way. I'm like, oh my God. And all the way down her neck. And
Unbelievable. That's crazy. Crazy people do that shit.
I had this CNA.
Go ahead.
I had this CNA once, and she had those what the fuck, spikes that were implant collarbone.
Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, or the studs things sticking out. Ugh. Give me a break.
Well,
how
they were
retarded
like
do
the
you
ones
have to
that poked
be?
out, and I said, "What are you gonna do if a resident falls against that, or that's gonna hurt both of you? Trust me."
Good point. She
ended up getting them removed, but that was weird.
Yeah. Lee Sugarbridge in the comment. I don't know if you see that I guess SD was willing to have Rick come on his show, something like that. I guess he said that on that live he did last night, and I did watch that today. And I don't know. I'm not going to try to get Rick to go on there. I mean,
no,
I'm not going to do it.
I'm not. I mean, Rick's his own dude. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
I think it should probably be the other way around.
Hal said, just think, Gigi, if you got a rose tattoo on your boob 20 years ago, today you would have a long stem rose.
That's true.
That's funny, yeah. Shit out.
Yep. Oh, hey, Strategic's in the building. He's in here. I thought he was doing a live.
I thought I seen him a bit ago here.
Oh, we're way behind then, I guess, right?
Him and Sugarbridge, no, him and Mishka, hi, because I seen that was two that had jumped in.
Gotcha. Cool. What the hell was I gonna? What else do we got to talk about? What else is going on in the world? Anything interesting? Guys,
I don't know, but hey, I know what I want to talk about. I seen this really cool thing.
Yes.
So there's this one lady on YouTube, and she's hi, Dina.
I got
She
you.
said,
I got you.
I have a rose tattoo on my boob since I was 18 and it's starting to look like that.
A deflated balloon.
Okay, so anyways, this RV lady, she RVs by herself. And she was showing all the stuff that she uses to protect herself. And she had some really cool things, like these solar lights that turn on. You can put them like under your rig or wherever, and so that like it keeps the rodents and shit from crawling under your rig while you're parked or whatever. So anyways, then she showed this billy club.
Yeah.
And it's a zapper.
Oh, it's like a cattle prod?
Yeah, but it's long.
Is it 10.5 inches?
It extends. And so it's like this long, but like this much of it is
the head.
If they try to grab it from you, it zaps the shit out of them.
I've seen those. Yeah, they're like a baton almost. Yeah, like is that what it looks like? It's got a handle.
They're black and and oh yeah, I think.
Yeah.
A club zapper. Is that what it's called, Corn Pop? I think I need one of those.
Nah, you don't need one of those.
Yeah. Well, I already have a zapper, but if they get that close to me,
you need one of these.
But is that a zapper?
No.
Yeah, no, you don't understand.
It's a sap. It's a thumper.
Yeah, but that's not good.
Lead.
I mean, I don't
you
know
put your wrist through it, and you. Good night.
Good night. Bobby said that's a butt plug.
Yeah, you wish. Sorry, bud. No. That is oh man, that hurt. It's a big wad of lead on the end of it on a spring, and it's wrapped in leather. And that thing will fucking cave your head in. Also probably illegal in 49 states.
Yeah.
But we didn't show that on here. So so you're still thinking about doing the RV for a bug out / retirement vehicle, correct?
Well, it's for a retirement. It's a definitely for our retirement, but because of, in light of the way things have gone, we might have to change,
The tactics, yeah.
Well, my choice is we might have to change what we want. Like instead of the nice plush Class A, it might have to be, it might have to be some 4-wheel drive, get the fuck out of my way rig. So, but one way or the other, I'm having a fucking RV. That's all there is to it. And they're going down in price. So, I'm not like being, I'm not so spoiled that I'm getting one just because. I mean, I am waiting until they go down in price because holy shit, they've doubled since Sniffer took office.
Hold on a second.
I need an underground bunker. Well, maybe I do need an underground bunker.
I saw Missy made a comment. Get those too.
Oh.
I got all kinds of little goodies. She said brass knuckles. I said, I got some. What else you want me to pull out? I got stuff.
Got that.
I got stuff.
I got stuff. I got lots of little trinkets, but I don't have one of those long black zappers, and I'm pretty certain I need one.
Essie's in the house.
Essie?
He likes you talking about that BBC.
It's not that kind of zapper. Show your sex toys.
Those we used to mess around with tasers and stun guns and stuff. Me and a bunch of friends, and some of them, the hand ones that just make a lot of noise and you got to touch somebody. Those are really nothing.
I know. And they're going to take it away from me. If the noise don't scare them, my ass is had. Because by the time I get close enough to zap them, they've got me.
Yeah, you're probably, I don't know, buy a gun.
That one's really good because it
because it gives you a little reach. Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Yep.
Fucking Bobby.
You could always, let's see. Could always get one of those. The collapsible batons. Those work pretty good.
I want a zapper.
No.
I really want a zapper. Huh? I want a zapper.
I got you.
Bobby said he's black from the waist down and beauty of being Italian.
I hear you, Paisan.
That's bragging, which usually means you have a little penis.
There are some that say that. And then when you drop your drawers and they go, oh my God.
I've only had one dude ever drop his drawers and I went, oh my God, what the hell is that?
You better say it was Marv.
No,
it was Marv. Marv, I'm trying to stick up for you, brother. I know. Women all
I never seen. Oh my gosh. The guy wanted to go skinny dipping with me and a friend. Oh my gosh. And
if he jumped in, all the water would have fell out of the.
It made both of us jump behind his brother, who was a good size. These were bodybuilders. But the one dude, he wasn't as big as in the muscles and stuff, but holy. As soon as he dropped his pants, man, me and my friend, we were like, whoa, what the hell? We were ready.
Did it stop picking up rocks and shit?
I mean, we had no intention to go on skinny dipping to begin with. And then when, yeah, ooh, that was weird. That was weird. Yeah, that was scary shit. I never seen anything like that in my life. When it goes straight to their knees, you're like, whoa, is it even real? At that point, you almost want to walk up just to see if it is real.
I guess. I don't know.
Let me see that. Is there stitching on there?
Maybe he hangs weights on it when no one's around when he's at home.
Dude, I never seen anything. I'm not kidding you. Nothing's ever made me do that. I mean,
wow.
I've always been very gutterish. But that was crazy.
I see.
Mind you, this was years and years and years and years.
I got you.
I was a teenager.
Oh, you were a teenager?
Yeah.
Maybe it was all in your teenage mind.
Yeah.
That's what it was, huh?
Yeah.
You were just inexperienced and you were shocked. She's like, okay, this is getting weird.
Bobby said cock pump.
What did he say? Cock pump. Oh, jeez.
All right. Well,
Did you post a link?
No. I will.
I bet you will.
Invite. Oh, and just so everybody knows, it don't matter what you do, what you say, and I know that Rick says this, and that's like a challenge to me, but we are out of here in 2 hours. So
2 hours.
It doesn't matter if you come on 3 seconds before the 2 hours spot. We out.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna start keeping this stuff to some realistic times. It's fun and all, but when it gets too late, it's just too much. It's been it winds up ending up being a very long day here. So we got old President Houseplant trying to executive order pass a $400 billion, so basically a $500 billion bill to bail out school college students' tuitions. How do people feel about that? Should we do something like that? Let's say we stop giving money to Ukraine and stop spending money on all this shit, and we had that money. Should we do it? Should we give breaks to people going to college? Anybody got any thoughts on that? No?
Do they give people breaks that start businesses?
Yeah, kind of.
No.
Sometimes tax breaks. Sometimes. Certain things. Sure.
They pay their shit.
What's that? Here's the thing.
They don't pay for their... Sure, if that's the case, then they should just pay for everybody to have a startup biz for it all.
I feel like the
school is
children,
a fucking joke, Yank. Nobody goes to school.
Yeah, oh no, absolutely. I agree. I agree with that.
School.
Boy, you're really broken up on me all of a sudden. I don't know why. Are you
trying to got it shit going? Okay.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I will say this. I think that kids, and when I say kids, shit, people my age, not kids, but we were sold a bill of goods. Go to college, go to college, go to college, go to college, go to college. That's all they fucking said. Now, I didn't go. And I went to a trade school instead. But a lot of people did after, say, probably the 80s, I would say, did wind up going to college. And college just kept getting more expensive and more expensive and more expensive. So they did kind of get fucking screwed. And especially where a lot of the schools then took on classes and degrees that are useless and stupid, don't serve any real purpose in the real world, and promised them that they were going to make all kinds of money on these underwater basket weaving fucking transliberal, flower pot shit. I think they did get screwed, and they weren't old enough to make a conscious decision or a well-informed decision to take on that debt. I don't think it's fair that they can't discharge the debt. That's one of the only kinds of debt you cannot discharge.
Sports cars and all kinds of crazy shit. And
say that again?
Lots of people do stupid shit. They still need to pay their own fucking bills.
Can you start that again? Because I didn't hear the beginning.
Why is this doing this?
I don't know.
Everything else. Let me shut everything else off. Okay. Is that better?
Yes.
No, I do not think that we should. I don't give a shit what they got themselves into. that you get yourself out of your own shit. Nobody should pay your way out of it. Nobody paid our way out of it. Marvin had 7 fingers and 2 kids and paid his own way through school.
Marvin didn't take basket underwater weaving.
Yeah, fuck off.
He didn't. He took a trade that was going to earn him money. He didn't get feminine studies and decided to be a counselor. Right? He wasn't talked into that. He had common sense. He was an adult. These are kids. They're fed a steady diet of bullshit in high school.
Marvin was like 27 when he got his hand taken from him.
Well, that's still a hell of a lot better than fucking 18.
And then had to relearn everything.
I'm not taking anything away from Marvin on that. I think what he did is a fantastic endeavor and example to the kind of character Marv has. I think that's fantastic. But again, he chose correctly. For some reason he did, whether it was because he was older or he had good advice or it was his dream, whatever it was. But when people think that they're going to make this kind of money to pay back I don't even know what colleges cost now. What is it? 30, 40 grand a semester?
Probably.
That's, they get in debt, let's say $250,000 and come out of there
making. Don't do it.
I understand that. Don't do that, but they're told by their parents, by their guidance counselors, by their schools.
I don't.
Wow.
You know what? Then their parents can foot the fucking bill. Not
I'm good
us.
with that too.
Not us. I don't care. I know. I think they should fucking figure it out. Oops. Don't go do that. Don't go fucking rack up a bill you can't pay for.
Interesting.
No, I absolutely do not think anybody should pay their way out of it. Those little bastards can pay their own fucking way out of it.
You sound like a boomer.
Call me what you will.
I'm not calling you. I'm just saying you sound like a boomer.
Oh, go ahead.
Don't touch my Social Security, goddammit. I paid into that my whole life.
Motherfucker.
I paid into that Social Security my whole life. My house is worth $1.6 million, and I'll be damned if I'm going to not get my $1,200 a month Social Security. They took that money from me.
I could care less. I didn't even figure we'd have Social Security by the time we retired.
Oh, no, I know. So. I'm just saying. There's another bunch of people that fucking deserve a slap in the head, though. Those people. Them are fucking adults. Not kids. I don't believe in handicapping kids. Right? I don't believe in cutting them off at the knees. And then expecting them to fucking carry the load of an adult.
You're not going to dig their way out. You're not going to dig their way out, Yank. You are not going to dig their way out. They will go, and if they pay off their student loans, they're going to go fucking rack up more fucking bills. I'm telling you right now. You set them up to fucking fail by doing stupid fucking shit like that right there. That kind of shit just chaps my ass.
Okay, so is there something in the middle then? Because we're talking this or that. There's got to be
this or don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, but okay. Going forward, don't do it.
First years. We're talking their older sisters and brothers did the same fucking thing, and they watched them do it. And they knew what kind of fucking bill it was going to be. And they knew what kind of job they weren't going to fucking be able to get. Yet they all just fucking followed because mommy and daddy said, go do it. Well,
don't you want kids to do what mommy and daddy say?
No, I want them to, you know what? Think for them fucking selves. If it's going to cost you a bunch of money, then don't do it. And you don't want to pay for it. If you want to pay for it, go ahead. But no, I do not think that we should be paying for those kids. No, I do not.
I want to be clear. I do not think that we should be paying for these kids either. I'm just simply asking the question. Do we not think we fucked them or they got fucked?
No.
I think they got fucked.
Fuck that. No, they thought they were going to go and have a gay old time for 4 years and enjoy that whole college life and live and dude, you should see the college lives they live.
I know what they live
some
like.
of them, maybe they don't. Maybe they're just going and they're getting their college degree and so on and so forth. But here's the deal. Nobody should be paying your way through the fucking school. They just shouldn't. You pay for it yourself. Get a scholarship, get good grades, then you'll get your whole way paid through.
Say that again, please.
Get good grades, then you can have scholarships and you won't have to pay for a fucking dime of it. Otherwise,
I agree that
pay for your own schooling.
I agree that college should have been merit-based and you should earn your way into college versus everybody should go to college and be sold that bullshit story. I think look, I can say that I'm not for the bailout, but I can also say that they were sold a fucking lie.
So
and their kids, and I don't expect what?
We're sold a lie every fucking day, Yank.
You're not a fucking child, Gutter. You're not a kid.
Nobody's fucking putting shit in our bank account.
You're not a kid.
If we look at it like that, every time,
okay,
there'll be no way this country will ever get anywhere. These kids have got to realize if you're going to go to school, you have to pay your way through it. You have to. Go get a job like the rest of us had to do. We couldn't afford school. I don't understand why they should get a free ride. I don't.
I keep saying it. Are you not listening to me? I keep saying the same thing. I'm not for them getting their thing paid off, but I am willing to accept that they get fucked. And your problem is that if you acknowledge that they get fucked, now you're in a quandary. Like, oh
I don't
shit,
understand.
they got fucked.
Why did they get fucked? Because they have a bill?
Because they're fucking okay. You're not talking. You're not letting me talk. They get screwed because they're children. Their brains are not formed to make fucking decisions that important or big. They were told this is what you do in order to be successful in life. If you don't do this, you won't be successful. So they went and did this thing that they were told to do. And now they're fucked. They're in a bad disadvantage financially. I'm not saying I want to bail them out. I'm just saying that it changed. It changed from about the time when you and I were in school. Shortly before that, it was merit-based. If you wanted to go to college, there was pretty much 3 ways to do it. You either earned a scholarship, your parents paid for it, or it was cheap enough for you to both work and go to school. Then something changed. Then it became money-making to where it was go to college, go to college, go to college. That was the message. And it was the government will give you a loan that you will never be able to fucking declare bankruptcy on. You'll owe it for the rest of your fucking life, but they don't really tell them kids that. But we'll pay for it. We'll give you a loan. You can go to college if you were a fucking donut in school, but you can go to college. Your parents don't have to pay for it, but don't worry about it. You'll make it on this stupid fucking degree that you'll get. You'll be able to make the money, which they won't. So they were given bad information and their kids. I don't think that was fair. That was done to them. I don't. I'm not saying I want to pay for their college.
Kids, right?
What's that?
You're talking about college?
No, I'm talking about kids before they went into college, when they were in high school. We're talking about kids.
But it's when they go to college. They're paying for their fucking college, Yank. They ain't paying for their elementary or high school. They're paying for their college.
Yeah, because they got a loan.
Right.
Yeah.
If you go get a loan and oops, it's the wrong loan, you shouldn't have done it. If there's a house, you know what? We bought a 1,100 square foot house. You know why? Because that's what we could afford. We could have went and bought a $400,000 home. But you know what? We couldn't afford that. But we could have. The bank said we had enough money to. But if we would have done that, guess what? We would have went in over our heads and we would have lost our ass. So somebody should have dug us out for that.
Okay.
Because the bank set us up and told us that we could afford a $400,000 loan.
Can you stop saying someone's going to bail you out? I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about that. That's off the table. I've agreed. No one should be paying their fucking thing off.
I don't understand what you're trying to say then.
I'm trying to say they made bad choices based on bad information they were given.
Okay. People do it every day. It's the same thing as regarding anything else.
Okay. All right.
I don't understand what, I mean, here's the deal. If you can't see through it, it's exactly why none of my kids went to college, because they already knew that shit. So why is it, I don't understand where it is that they couldn't see the light of day. How come it's just, are we supposed to pity them because they couldn't see the light of day? Is that what we're doing? I'm trying to understand.
Because they were fed this shit from the time they started school.
Right. My kids were too. By all the teachers and all the faculty told my kids, you gotta go.
You're an exception to the rule. Right? And what do we say about exceptions to the rule? Pointing to the exception to the rule proves that the rule exists. So it exists. It's a thing. Millions of kids in this country who are still, and we know from studies that the frontal part of people's brains that are able to like foresee the future and determine that the outcome is going to be bad. I forget what they exactly call that, but that frontal part of the brain doesn't really kick in until you're like 25. So you got kids who want to be on their own, grown up, acting grown up, and all this shit, all this stuff has been a push just to get them into college. And I'm not saying that we need to bail them out. I'm just saying that something changed along the way to now where we have all these kids in college that shouldn't be in college, taking courses they shouldn't be taking, and borrowing money they shouldn't have borrowed. Oh, I don't know what to do about it, but
I agree.
It's a thing.
They are, but I mean,
and you just want to go, fuck it, lump it.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how you can if
I don't either. I don't know how to fix it.
It's again a government issue because of how it's all been
bingo
pushed to it. So
bingo.
Again, it all falls back to that whole fucking shit show.
Granted. Okay, so let me ask you a question then. I think that we should really start telling kids the truth and stopping this pipeline that the government has created of shipping kids into college, right? Because that's kind of what it is. It's like this money grabbing thing. It's to get these kids on a hook. That's what it is, to get them to pay this money to the banks and this and that. So if we got kids to stop doing this, not stop going to college, but make it, again, bring it back to the basics, right? You're either really good at school and want to continue education and get a degree in something that matters, like engineering, or your parents pay for it, or make it cheap enough so that you can get a job and pay for it during summer and go to pay your semesters and go to college like it used to be. If that was to happen today, going forward, we wouldn't have the problem we have now, but we would still have a significant chunk of kids that aren't kids by the time they graduate, but they still have, let's say, $250,000 in debt when they get out of college, and they're making $8 an hour or $12 an hour flipping burgers because there is no whatever the fuck they went for, right? So we have this group. What if they said one time, we're going to dismiss the debt on those kids because they get screwed, or we're going to half the debt or get rid of some of it? Would you have a problem with that if we knew going forward we weren't going to have to keep doing it?
I don't know.
Me neither. I don't know either.
I mean, at this point, I think there's so much money that's just being thrown around. What the fuck's the difference? It's just money. It's fuck. We'll print more. Hell yeah.
Well, that's why I said in the beginning, like, let's say we didn't send $100 billion to fucking Ukraine anymore, and we started prioritizing where our money went. If we had enough money, right? If we had enough money,
right?
Would it be such a horrible thing to help future people, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. But I would like to think to do something good for our American people and our American young before we do shit for other countries.
I get what you're saying, but I think that they've already had. So I got to tell you that those are the one people that are basically, you realize that they live well beyond their means in every shape and form. I'm telling you,
completely.
Mom and daddy put fucking, I mean, if that's how you're looking at it, those are the ones that the mom and daddy are putting fucking money in their bank accounts, and they drive fucking Mercedes, and they live the fucking, you know, highfalutin life, and get their hair done every fucking week, and all that shit.
Yeah.
No, I really don't want to fucking. I don't.
I understand. I get it. I get it. I'm with you there.
I think again, we're enabling them. We gotta fucking stop this shit.
I agree. Yeah, when you get 30-year-olds living at home with mom and dad, there's a problem.
Well, you know, it is. It really is, especially when they have no way of trying to push forward or push out of it or have a goal to get to. I mean, like I said, I am by no means a perfect parent. I've helped my kids out, and we've done that whole thing, but they always had to have a goal. There was never a thing of you just get to sit here and be nothing. And you have to have a goal. You have to have a savings account. You have to have working towards a goal. You have to, or we're not helping you, because I mean, it's too hard for us as it is. If you're going to help your kids, it's got to be for the good of it. And if it's not, you better be willing to stand back and, you know, and notice that. So
yeah,
it's not easy as a parent, but you do have to, I mean,
agree.
At some point you got to go, okay, no, enough's enough. But like I said, as long as they're working for that goal, I think it's great that parents do help out. I don't think it's a thing where, you know, I still think the whole thing of giving us money during the whole COVID thing was fucking stupid. It was just, and I know,
oh well, first
giving
it was
money to Ukraine and all that, and that I don't understand what they thought $600 fucking was going to do for anybody. I mean,
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. I thought it was dumb. It
was another way to suck more money out of, to put us in debt more, is what it was. I mean, that's all it was.
What blows my mind about it is a lot of the times you'll hear people talk, right? And they'll talk about, oh, well, they gave everybody, you know, $1,600 or whatever the fuck it was 2 times. And I'm like, that was the minuscule part of the bill. Most of the money was that PPE shit, the loans for businesses and banks and this and that to keep things running and floating and all this stuff. And I'm like, that was the hundreds of billions. That was the trillions of dollars. That what we got was like 100 billion, something like that, to give everybody the fucking $1,000 that didn't even last. You know, anybody who was really flat on their back from COVID and not working or lost their job and had to pay rent, that shit was gone like that. You know what I mean? It didn't help anybody. All it did was prolong for a couple of weeks.
Actually, I think it helped pay off the rest of our house. I mean, we put it towards our house is basically what we did, because that's what we were going for anyway. So we just threw it in the bank, and then I don't know, the $1,000 that didn't go to it from I mean, you know, it all worked out in the wash, but that didn't help us. We were going to pay it off regardless. We already had the money. We just, instead of pulling it out of savings, it was there. So, I mean, but I just thought it's kind of like when you charge something on a credit card and you don't pay it off for a year. Now whatever you charged on that credit card, you just paid twice for that shit.
Oh yeah.
So is it really worth it? I mean, if you can't pay that shit off right away, you better realize it's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
It's like Marvin, every time Marvin says to me, well, we're actually going to get a loan when we get the RV. And I'm looking at him like he's got 3 fucking heads. and somehow he's got it all figured out in his fucking, and he's the one that deals with the money side of shit like that. So I try to understand it because, if I want to know, but sometimes, and in a case like this, I'm like, I don't get that. Why don't we already have it. Why don't we just take it and go buy an RV and then, no, we'll get a loan.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know what the right deal to do with that is. I don't know because
here's how he explained it to me, and this is a short version of it.
Okay.
Because the money that's in savings or invested is making more than the money that we would pay interest on.
Okay.
So by just paying the interest and paying it off, we still get to make interest on our money over the interest of what we're paying for. So
okay, that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
And here's why maybe you can clear it up if I ask the question. If he's talking strictly about interest, who's making the principal payment and how you making that principal payment if you're retired? Like, do you have, like, where's the income? So let's say you buy through a loan an RV and it costs, I don't know, $1,000 a month. I don't know what the fuck one costs. $1,000 a month. Where you getting that $1,000 a month if you're retired? Never mind the interest that the other money in the bank is making. What's making the principal?
Live off the interest of what we already have.
Okay.
Saved. So that's how that will work. So, okay. And then we pay. So, and I get what he's saying, but for me, it's like, oh, Jesus, let's just quit piddle farting around and fucking pay for it and get it done and over with. Let's go. So that's my whole train of thought. But he's right. He is right. But I am so like, that means every month we gotta make a payment. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, can't we just
do half and half then? Be the married couple and go, all right, we'll put half cash down and pay half of it. That way you both get what you want eventually, soon.
The thing about it is I won't lose sleep over it. It kind of be annoying in the back of my head, but I won't lose sleep over it, where he would literally lose sleep over having to think about it. So it's just better off just go, okay, honey, however you want to do that. Sure. Whatever. Go ahead. Just tell me what you're going to do. That way I know. And he just does it. And then I go, okay, got it. So, but it used to be before I didn't even care. I mean, my checks went into the bank account. His checks went into the bank account. He dealt with it all. I bought what I wanted or whatever. And he bought he dealt with all the bill. And I didn't have to deal with none of it. And I just put my money in the bank, did what I want. But over time, he's told me, honey, if I drop dead tomorrow, you're going to be so fucked, man. You're not going to know where nothing is. So first he started making me pay the bills so that I would see what exactly, that way I didn't get caught with my pants down. So, so now I do all that stuff and I pay, and I go and I make sure I'm involved in all the other shit as well, but I sure hate it. I really do. I would rather just trust him and go, fuck it. You just know what to do and just do it. And don't call me, I'll call you.
Right. Well, you definitely don't want to be caught with your pants down, especially around that guy you went skinny dipping with. That'll end up badly for everybody.
No, I'm telling you what, that dude I must have been like 16. That was the weirdest thing ever. I'm telling you. And of course, I was with somebody that was older, the girl that I was with. And so, yeah, I am not spoiled.
I was waiting for you to see that. You're a kept lady too.
I am a kept lady. That's Well, I don't know about lady, but I'm a kept woman. Let's not go so far as saying lady. Have you met me?
Hello. Okay. Nobody's decided to try to come on, huh? The link is up.
Well, they got about 40 minutes because we're not letting them in like 3 minutes, 5 minutes till, because I know what they'll do. They'll keep us on.
People are yelling at Corn Pop. Don't yell at Corn Pop. Whatever. You guys don't have to pay attention to him. I mean, you know.
Yeah, ignore him.
He said he's sorry.
Just block him.
Yeah,
if you don't
he said
like
he's sorry.
That much. He's not. Corn Pop's not a bad dude. Right, Corn Pop? Links win. I already put the fucking link up. It's there, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't have YouTube open. No, Bobby thinks we're having a great show.
Seriously?
It wasn't bad. We were yelling at each other. I'm sure that was entertaining for him.
I'm sure. Sorry, Yank. I don't mean to yell at you. I'm not yelling at you.
I'm sorry too. I don't mean. I know. Of course I know that, and I'm not yelling at you either. I'm sorry for yelling. Just differences.
Afterwards, I watch it and go, "You fucking dummy, Julie."
I'm the same way. I watch it go, I'm stupid. Yeah, I know. But that's why I always. What?
I pinned the link.
Ooh, okay.
A long time ago.
Ashley, Corn Pop's been on. We've had Corn Pop on.
No. Corn, he can't get on because I think he did some weird shit last time he came on.
Yeah. I mean, you think he's bad in the chat.
I mean, but we don't mind him being in the chat. He's fine. He ain't hurting nothing. He's kind of funny.
What else we got going on? What the hell else was I listening to?
Ashley Pop asked earlier if he could call Yank and Gutter. Yeah, but he never does. And when he gets on there, he's just a goofy little fucker. But we don't mind him.
So I've kind of made a decision insofar as like, okay, maybe we'll go into nuclear war, whatever, end of fucking the country, whatever. It doesn't really matter, right? The end of what we know. And I guess, especially some of the yard work that I was doing on last Thursday when I got sunburned and shit, it just, I'm out of shape and things are really kind of busted up on me from the life that I've lived. I'm going to make my last stand where I am. I'm not going to bug out. I'm not going to, if the shit hits the fan, I'm staying in the shit and I'm going to try and make it last for as long as I can. And then it's over. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to be able to throw on that 40-pound pack anymore and hike my way to somewhere. I can't do that. It's just not physically possible anymore. So, and time just keeps going on. So unless this shit happens like tomorrow, if it happens 10 years from now, fuck, I'm screwed. I'll be lucky to fight it from my friggin' armchair. So I've just decided that I'm done about as much prepping as I'm going to do. The only thing I may wind up doing is doing things to try to lessen my monthly bills every month, because I don't know how long the money supply will hold out or be worth anything. So if I can do things like grow my own food kind of shit, I'll probably do that. I'll probably start taking a little more interest in maybe trying to insulate my house better, spend some money on that to try to lower the electric bill and shit, because that's going up. Water bill's going up for some reason. I'm not sure why. Just things like that. But I'm going to make my stand in my house. I've decided that's it. I'm not a young man. I'm not going to walk through a fucking wasteland. And I'm just going to hang out and do what I got to do here. So that was kind of a revelation for me. Oh, we got Hal.
Oh.
I'm adding him right now.
Howdy.
Hal.
What's going on?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
All right.
Wow, I dig the voice.
What's wrong with it?
No, it's cool, man. You got a good mic.
I'm a recording studio.
I know. I can tell, man. Listen how good his mic is. It's fucking perfect. That's amazing.
I agree.
What part of the country are you at in, Hal? I know we've talked on the phone, so I'm just doing this for everybody else.
Right outside of Indianapolis.
Right on. Nice. What are you calling in the show for? What do you got for us?
I finally fixed the audio problem, so I figured I'd come on and answer some questions everybody had.
There you go. All right, so who's got some questions for Hal, man? I know I know a lot about Hal.
That was a
him
few
and I
weeks
spoke
ago.
on the phone. What was? That we talked on the phone?
Yeah, that too, but everybody always had questions and I didn't have a way to answer them.
Okay. Yeah, I spoke to Hal. Let's see, Hal. What was it? Maybe a little over a week ago, a little before the show last
It was
Tuesday.
probably about 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know a little bit about you, and I do know that you play in a band. You're pretty phenomenal. You guys sound great.
We're not
I dig the
musicians
music
at all. We can just play.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Okay, I'm calling bullshit on that. You guys are musicians.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, you know what? When a lot of times we were out on the road and we always had opening bands that didn't show up, and we're like, what the hell? We'll just go play. And that's what we started doing.
Yeah.
We don't claim to be musicians, you know. I mean, I can't read music. I can't write music. I just memorize where to put my fingers.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
You know, I mean, you know.
So you're self-taught?
Yeah, for the most part. You know, one of the biggest things I took away from being out on the road in that is when you got a little bit of downtime and you're sitting there with the person that actually wrote the song and showing you how to play it.
Yeah. Hal rubs elbows with some pretty interesting folks. You want to name drop a couple?
I don't name drop.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I've told you, but you know,
I know. That's why I didn't say anything.
You know, there's a lot of non-disclosure agreements with a lot of things.
Agreed.
But
Bobby says, calling from a studio in a band, you're a musician.
I'm an audio engineer.
You're what?
I'm an audio engineer. I'm a front house engineer.
That's right.
I'm the one that sits in the middle of the arena and mixes the show.
Oh.
Very cool. And then now that I'm not out on the road, you know, I just sit here at my studio and, you know, I don't do a lot of bands. Actually very few. I do a lot of ADR, dialogue replacement, and I edit, you know, I edit a lot of music, but I edit, you know, for TV and movie too. You know, so 99% of what you hear didn't actually happen on set. You know, it's what we create.
Like Foley work.
I was trying to figure that out. Like when I watched those clips, I was trying to figure out what parts you did versus
Foley artists are a totally separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you know, there's an art to that too. I don't do Foley work. But their studio's completely set up for that. You know, I mean, take simple gunshots. You know, they're sitting there with like they'll go to junkyards and get an old hood from a car and sit there with a ball peen hammer and hit it, add a little bit of effects to it, and that's a gunshot.
Oh,
interesting.
You
I
know?
was watching Hal a TV thing that was about the Fast and the Furious, that franchise. And one of the guys on there, I'm guessing he was the audio engineer, but he said he had the most fun in that series doing the sound, not Foley, but mixing, like the car engines and the gears and the shifting and the tire squeals and all. Now, do you do stuff like that as well?
That part will be sent to me after I do post-production. I don't I do some like I said, I do ADR, but I used to do some on scene work. You know, there's different types of engineers, you know, because you got the audio guys that are actually on set recording all of this. Now, not a lot of it gets used, but, or should I say, not a lot of it gets used in the final product, but I use it because it helps me line up the audio with what I have to replace. Okay. And then a lot of times I don't get, well, I do get, you know, a script, storyboard and everything, you know, a director's notes, but a lot of times the director's notes are just them speaking it, you know, during the live shoot. So that's what I have to listen to, you know, and, you know, remove them and then replace it with what they want. And then we go through quality control to where, you know, I'll sit and watch something 20 times and I'll take notes. Sometimes I'll make more than one product to send back to them to watch, and I'll make notes. Sometimes I'll make 2 or 3 different versions and why I fixed this, why I went to a different camera angle, why I changed the sound of something, you know, and let them make their final decision, you know, on what they want. Depending, I don't get in the director's heads, you know, on what they want the final product to be, but I you know, I sometimes I do get to make suggestions. You know, then after the fact, then you know, some of the ADR work that I do isn't for necessarily a final product that we would watch here in the States. You know, some of it, you know, sometimes there's 2, 3, 4 different languages that it's translated to. So those are subtitles get added, but the different languages that you can select from, you know, that are on the same DVD or Blu-ray or whatever flavor you pick. You know, and then every one of those it has to be encrypted in mono, stereo, you know, right and left, and then 3.1, you know, 5.1, 7.1, 7.2, you know, all the way up to 10.4. You know, so there's a lot of information that nobody ever knows about. You know, there's a lot more work that goes into it that nobody ever sees or understands.
I can imagine. Hal, listen, Bobby Boccolino's got a question for you. He asks, what editing software do you use?
Sony Vegas.
Very cool.
If you, this is one of the keys, and this goes for almost anything in life. Keep everything the same. You know, you never want conflicts in programs. So I use everything Sony. You know, Vegas has, you can have up to 256 video tracks and endless audio tracks. And then to actually edit the audio, we use SoundForge, you know, which is, you know, another Sony product. So when you've got Vegas open and you've got your audio track and you need to edit it, you just right click on that track, open in Vegas, and then you can edit that track. And then when you save it, it applies it back. So there's no going back and forth between a bunch of different programs. You know, one master program can basically control the rest. But, you know, I mean, there's other programs out there. It just depends on how you're doing it. For the most part here, it's just me. So I don't have a problem using Vegas. Other bigger companies have problems with it because they're trying to edit over a network. You know, that's why they use like Premiere or something. Premiere, in my mind, it's not the greatest program, but if you're going to edit over a network, that is the way to go. So, You know, that when you're editing over a network, more than one person can edit the same project at the same time. But like I said, I don't have to worry about it. It's basically just me, you know. So
right. Very cool. I mean, you see the other question?
What? From
there's another question up there.
6 years.
There you go. 6 years.
I joined right out of high school. 3 days after high school, I was on a plane for basic.
You're getting a lot of comments, Hal, about your sexy voice from the women. I think you're making a lot of their knees weak.
Well,
I'm telling you, brother. I don't know if you're watching the comments. Very nice.
Yeah, I don't even like to sing doing it. I did send you one, you know, but
send us one. What?
I did send you guys one that I sang.
Oh, yes, that was the last one, correct?
No, probably no. It wasn't. That would have been in the first group.
Yeah.
Oh.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah. It was good. George Thorogood.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Right on. I'm trying to look for any other.
Oh gosh,
Bobby said thank you for your service.
Misty's sniffing. She wants to know how old Hal is now.
55.
Oh. I hope. No, I don't think this should be a secret, but I will just say I love your dog, man. The picture you sent of you and your dog. Beautiful.
Yeah. Some people didn't agree with the comment like that I made that I would take my dog and head to the woods, but you got to put that into perspective. My dog isn't a little Chihuahua. He's a 220-pound Saint Bernard. He can see better than I can. He can hear better than I can. He can find water, food, anything better than I can. He can take on more people at one time than I can, you know.
Yep.
And like I told you, he's trained. And I actually had him trained because of my girl when I wasn't around.
Very cool. I noticed you had
right now,
the keg on him.
Yeah. I do that a lot for all three of them. I have 3 Saint Bernards.
No kidding.
And all 3 of them have it. But, you know, Bubba is up in Chicago right now with her, you know, like I told you, she's got 2 masters and 3 PhDs. And, you know, she's up at Fermilab right now working on some problems. And she took them with, you know, just because of all the crap that's going on up there.
Oh, sure. That makes sense. I got to ask, though, is there anything in the kegs?
No.
They're just ornamental?
They're novelty things, yeah.
I didn't know if you would have. I didn't know if you would have actually maybe done something like put a med kit maybe in there of some kind, a tourniquet. You know what I mean?
He has a vest. He has his own vest.
He does.
And yeah.
Cool. Very cool, man. I love the Saint Bernards. They are beautiful, man.
Yeah, you know, well, the puppy, the little one, he's only a year, but he's taller than the others, but he's real skinny. Lucy, she is her and Bubba, they're the same age, but he's twice as wide as she is. She's like 180 pounds, you know.
Wow. I miss my dogs, man. Oh, my dog. It's tough when they go, man. It's too bad they don't live forever.
Yeah, that's going to be the hard part.
Yeah, man. It's never a good day. Who else got questions here? Let's see.
Somebody asked you about, yes, I was a sniper.
Yes. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure, ask away. I'll tell you what I can. So,
what did you carry for a weapon?
For rifle or sidearm? Rifles.
Rifle. What was your sniper rifle?
Several. two main ones were they were M24s, Remington 700s, 308 and 3006 Super Mag.
Nice.
And that's it. I'm going to step on a lot of toes and hurt a lot of egos when they start asking about what do I think about things. I don't. You stick to what works, what's been proven, what gets the job done. I don't care for all the Gucci rounds or nothing, and then, my big rifle, everybody's got to say, what about a Barrett? What about a Barrett? Well, I don't think about it. My McMillan M88 will outshoot a Barrett any day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a single shot.
Do you mind
bolt
if they're
action.
running for optics?
Another thing, keep everything the same. I run a Schmidt and Bender PM2 on everything. Even my SBR, I use a PM2 short dot. I use a PM2 short dot on my shotgun.
Interesting.
Keep everything the same. All the controls are in the same spot. The only one I have, even after I got out of the military, those are the same guns I went back to that I still have. I've still got a McMillan M88. I bought my girl a Barrett. She's got her own 50.
Wow,
but
nice.
I'll outshoot that thing any day.
Oh yeah,
but
you can't take down a plane.
it's that was never what it was intended to do. I'll stop.
No, of course not.
With it.
What's that?
I'll stop one on a runway with it.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I told you, with some of my deployments, I was deployed to Siri Island in the Persian Gulf, and one of my jobs was I was the only Navy on the island, but I had a platoon of Marines, at the airfield. That whole island's maybe 1.5 miles in diameter.
Mm-hmm.
But my job was to sit up about 100 yards up on a ridge, and any of those IRG little fast attack boats got close to any of our ships, I'd put a couple rounds through their engine and a couple through the hull and let it sink.
Very nice. How Mick said Fermi, is it Fermi AM?
Fermilab.
Fermilab is doing some upgrades. They're getting a 9.4 Tesla magnet for the accelerator. Is that what they have there? Is it an accelerator? Is that what the place is?
It's not an accelerator site, but she's also a senior physicist at CERN in Switzerland, Brookhaven out on Long Island, and what's the one down at Oak Ridge in Tennessee? She works at all of them.
Well, but I thought you and I could be friends, but since your girlfriend works at CERN and is knocking black holes and looking for demons and shit like that, we can't be friends, my man.
Yeah. Don't laugh at that, because
I know
she gets sued all the time by the religious freaks.
I can imagine. But it's fucking crazy, man. People lose their mind. But I will say there are some weird things about the CERN thing, right? Like, is it true that there is that weird statue of whatever the god of death is in
I think people misunderstand what that thing does, and
what CERN does, the particle smasher thing,
right?
Yeah,
actually, what her specialty is magnets, and she invented the magnet system that accelerates the particles.
Oh, geez.
When they say the speed of light couldn't be broke, she did it, but she didn't do it with speed. She did it with velocity. See, it used to be, it's circular, but basically linear.
Mm-hmm.
So they're shooting the particles around. They were using like one strip of magnets in a circle to do that. What she did was she did it in a Y pattern in a circle around the tube. So what she does is, as it's going forward, the particles spin in a little bit of a circle, so that gives it a little bit of kick to break that.
Now they actually get speed of light movement?
Yes.
No kidding. I didn't think we could actually get anything to go that fast. I mean, other than turn on the flashlight,
not with speed, but with velocity.
Okay.
So imagine you ever taken a tire off your bicycle. You can like grab the center hub and spin it, and that little
Yes.
cap on the valve stem, it's spinning. You can make that thing spin 100 miles an hour if you want. You could hold on to it. Now that thing is spinning at 100 miles an hour. Move it forward now at 100 miles an hour. That thing, it's still only going forward at 100 miles an hour, but the velocity of that cap is more than that. I don't know how to figure it out, but that's how it was explained to me.
Interesting. Huh. No shit. That's pretty cool.
But that, and then how to cool this thing, because the magnets are ceramic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everything has to be cryo-cooled. Liquid nitrogen pre-cools the liquid helium, and the liquid helium takes it down to minus 300 and some degrees. And
yeah. Now CERN was the one who, I know it's kind of old news now, but they did find the Higgs boson particle, correct? Is that what the Higgs boson is? I think that's
the name of it, but
the God particle.
I get. They haven't found it. They found links to it.
Okay.
You'd have to talk to her on all that. She's, you know, there.
Well, I'm sure it sounds like a 2-year-old talking to most people about it. I don't know.
Like, she's like, I think I understand your question, but you're asking it wrong, and she'll re-ask the question for you.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I'd be like a toddler going, "Mama, want cookie?"
But
yeah, it's
again, like I said, somebody just asked about the 338 Lapua. What do I think about it? I don't.
Really?
You got to understand back. It very well may be, but for me, it's not. Okay, I stick to what I know. I'm not going to retrain myself on something that I know that works. 3006 Super Mag will outdo that round, and I don't even have to think twice about it.
Is that in your hands, or you're saying that in general?
No, I'm not saying it's a bad round at all. I'm not saying a lot of things aren't bad. It's just not right for me.
Sure, no.
Why would I want to retrain myself for something that I know I can just pick up another rifle that could outdo it?
I understand. Makes sense. Interesting. Let's see.
Yeah, but you got to think that back then, you know, late 80s, early 90s, you know, a lot of this stuff didn't exist. You know, so you just, I don't want to say, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, because the same physics applies behind everything. But even if I were to shoot that round, it's not the round, it's the gun that it's fired from. I would go right back to a Remington 700.
Well, the 700 has been, the 700 has been shown its worth in many, many combat situations back Vietnam, you know? So, I mean, it's a proven rifle.
Over and over and over again, you know, the same way with the 3006, you know, it's just been proven. You just can't beat that round. If you perfectly scale up a 3006, it's a 50. I mean, that's how
38. I hate shooting that 30-06, man. That thing fucking hurts. You shoot enough of it.
Well, you might need to go with a little different setup then. Mine doesn't kick.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I mean, any one that I've shot was out of a Garand. I wasn't fucking very happy with that.
See, now again, I'm not saying that's not proven and tested gun, but it's not something I carry.
But it's, you know, it's a block of wood. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't enjoy shooting it. I just didn't enjoy it. I like 308. That's my go-to. I have a few 308s, and I'm happy with those.
It all depends on your distance and what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm not looking for much at this point. There's no reason to. No one's coming over my hill, at the moment. If they do, well, then we can talk. But until then, it's just paper. Just taking paper.
Yeah. Paper doesn't shoot back. That's
Exactly.
a big problem with training.
Exactly. You never know what you're going to do when something's zinging towards you. That's a little different. I've watched. You know what's funny? I've watched
small trick when you are getting shot at.
Sure.
There's two sounds that you hear. You hear the bang and the crack.
Yep.
Okay. The bang is the shell going off, and the crack is it breaking the speed of sound as it goes past you. As soon as you hear that crack, fast as you can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. As soon as it goes past you, you start counting. Okay. When you hear the boom, stop. If you stop at 3, person is shot that is 300 yards from you, real close to 300 yards, and you'll know the direction. It only works up to like 500 yards, but
there was a cool YouTube video I watched.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead.
So you count between the crack and the boom. Is that what you said?
Yes.
You'll know when you got a round coming right past you. You'll hear that thing. It doesn't matter if it's subsonic or supersonic. You'll hear that crack going past you, and just instantly start counting as fast as you can to 5.
I see.
Okay, if you get to 4, they're about 400 yards away from you, and what you're going to do is you're going to listen for its impact. Okay, and follow the impact back to you, and then keep following that trajectory, and that's the basic direction you're looking from. And then what you got to do for counter sniping is you got to find them, because they already know where you're at. It's obvious that the round came your way. Nothing in nature has straight lines or right angles. You just got to know what to look for. Okay, the simplest thing to look for is the washer in the weeds. You know what a washer is? Like a fender washer or a bolt washer for a bolt, round, got a hole in it. Mm-hmm. When you see that in the weeds, that's a barrel aiming back at you.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. No shit. Huh.
And then it all depends on light, high noon, morning or later in the evening. All depends on temperature and that, lights up, sights up, temperatures up, sights down. Everything affects.
Mm-hmm. David S. says sniping is tough. You got to know math. I'm in agreement with that. Forget it. But they got some nice calculators and stuff now.
See, now that goes back to what I was saying earlier. That I don't think about that. Okay, right. You got to know. You got to know how to use your scope, and if like I said, I use a PM2 with an H37 reticle in it, and that reticle does the math for me.
Nice.
Okay, so and it not just, it doesn't just do it for elevation, it does it for wind too. There's probably 120 crosshairs inside of that. Now you can get 32 minutes of elevation just on the turret, but then you can get probably another 10 minutes on the reticle from the crosshairs. So, I mean, if you're, and it'll do that in the positive elevation, but it's limited in the negative elevation.
Yeah.
So my bigger rifles are zeroed for 500, like on the 308, but if I need to go more than that, I don't have to do the math on it. All I got to do is know its distance. So every 100 yards, I just go down one crosshair.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to know how to. You don't just go to a range and zero in a scope just out of nowhere for no reason, because you got to know your first. Even if it's just 100 yards, say an AR at 100 yards, you got to know your distances, because you have to be able to make up for it.
That's right.
It works on a parallel. So and then every scope is off 2.5 to 3 inches, depending on the center, the elevation of the scope from the center of the barrel. So sometimes if you have it zeroed for 100, the bullet's going to come up and match and impact where the crosshair is. Okay. But if you have to go farther, the bullet path will cross the crosshair twice. It'll go up, and then when it comes back down, it's going to cross into it again.
Yep.
Like I told you, I've been shooting ELR now for a little while, and I'll shoot a 6-inch.
That's extremely long range.
Yeah, I'll shoot a 6-inch group at 3 miles.
Wow.
But and actually my 50 won't even do that. But my 375 enabler and my 408 will both do it. So once you get into that, there's a Charlie unit that gets bolted on the front of my scope, and that adds 250 minutes to the scope. Okay, so at 3 miles, that Charlie unit is basically aiming down into the center of my barrel. You can't see out of it, so you have to put another Delta unit on it to offset off to the.
Jesus.
I'm right-handed, so it'll go off to my right, so I can I leave both eyes open. That's another big thing. People, man, if you were in one of my classes, I'd be duct taping your eyes open. But you gotta get the what the Charlie and Delta units are mirrors.
Yeah, and I was going to ask.
As you go out, if it comes zeroed, it's a mirror at a 45 that aims straight up, and then another 45 that aims straight out. Okay, so by angling those mirrors, you can get it to another 250 minutes if you want. But then the Delta unit has 2 more mirrors that will be at a 45 and aim it over to the right, and then another one that aims it back out. So I'm bypassing the barrel. So
wow,
you only got to make up for like 4 inches.
Okay.
On your final target. That is it. You got to wait for good wind and everything. And
sure.
But that's how you get past that, because a 408 at 3 miles is 440 yards of elevation. I'm shooting 440 yards over the target. A lot of people didn't realize, even with an AR, if you tried to shoot, let's just say you had a 20-inch barrel, 24-inch barrel on an AR. Realistically, at 1,000 yards, if you were wearing like 3 or 4 sweatshirts, it'd bounce off you. But it'll go through the paper. Okay.
Yeah.
Bullet drop at 1,000 yards from a 5.56 is 44 feet.
Yeah. I just want to make it clear for those that may not be following some of this conversation that when he says he has to do 400 feet of elevation because he's shooting that far, I want you to think of
yards.
That's a football field, right? 400 yards, you said?
440 yards.
440 yards. So that's
football
fields. Just picture it's longer than a football field, but picture a football field standing up in the air, and that's over the target that you're shooting 3 miles away, I think he said. You're aiming that much higher because the bullet drop is going to come down before it hits that target.
Right.
So this is crazy stuff. So I got a sniper actually on the line here, and I have to ask this question because this will answer a lot of my little pet thing that I like to look at and give myself brain challenges and headaches about if the world is flat or not. Is there a Coriolis effect or coronal effect?
Oh, the Coriolis effect.
Yes, thank you. That's what it is. Yes. So you actually have to figure out the spin of the earth to hit your target by the time your bullet reaches that impact area.
It's not really the spin, it's the curvature.
Okay.
So it wouldn't really matter if it's spinning or not. It's not a flat plane.
Okay, so you're saying definitely that we do not live on a flat plane.
Yeah, but I have something to say about that though, because
please do.
I listen to what everybody has to say. What you know, it doesn't matter how much the conspiracy theory is or not. Somewhere in there might be a little bit of truth that you can take. You know, so why not listen? It costs nothing to listen.
Okay,
you know,
that's where I am.
I was talking to a couple of flat earthers and that, and this was his logic. Earth refers to the soil, the dirt, and that. If you removed the water, the earth is kind of flat. Maybe not flat, but more rectangle shape or something like that. I never looked into it a whole lot, but
interesting.
I kind of I can almost agree with that.
You know,
it is the water that's making it kind of perfectly round.
Yeah, pretty much. But here's the experiment that I heard that was done that just sticks in my brain regarding this thing that I can't seem to get out of my head. They had a canal. I forget where it was, but it was so many miles long, and it was a straight line canal, and it was only so many feet deep. So what they did was a guy got in the canal with like a telescope or a sight optic, and he was X amount of feet above the canal surface with his whatever the fuck he was looking through, his telescope, let's say.
Like
he put a guy in a boat. Thing? Yeah, exactly. And he put a guy in a boat with a target that was X amount of feet, the same as the survey target, the whatever you want to call it, the telescope thing. And he went 12 miles down the canal, and it was the same height. Now, if the world is round and we know about approximately how round it is, we can figure out how much drop there should have been at 12 miles.
Yes.
But there wasn't any drop. And that was the problem in this.
Basically, 12 miles is where it starts.
Oh.
That's where it starts to be major. That's why 12 miles out to sea is where international waters start, and that was originally done because people on land could sit there with binoculars or a telescope.
Line of sight, then. Okay.
The line of sight, that's where it basically starts. So reasoning was that if you could see something, it was in your waters.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, then you just helped me figure out that particular question that was asked in this experiment, and I'm like, I don't have an answer for that, because I thought it was like every a half an inch for every whatever, how many miles. I forget what the actual thing is that someone said, and that guy should not have been able to look through his telescope and see directly bullseyed that target at 12 miles. It shouldn't have happened. But you're telling me if the curve doesn't start till like about 12 miles, then that sounds about correct.
I'm not saying that it, I mean, I guess we just can't measure it. I mean, you know, in 100 yards it starts, you know, but numbers like that are so small, you just throw them out. It doesn't matter.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I like just listening to it because it gives you something to be a brain to chew on a little bit. And I
all
like
the conspiracy
like
theories and that, you know, I don't have a problem listening.
Sure.
You know, once you start taking in a bunch of them, you might be able to sit and put something together all at once, you know, at the end of everything, because if there's a little bit of truth in all of it, then you can make an educated decision.
Yeah, exactly. We've got some doubters in the house here. Someone's saying a 6-inch group at 3 miles, fishing story vibes. I don't know. That would have to be up to somebody who has actually taken a shot at 3 miles. I have never attempted that. I don't even think I could see 30 feet, let alone 3 miles. So that's me personally. I'm not gonna doubt you. That's just what some 2 people are saying in the chat. They have some questions regarding 3 miles.
Ask the questions.
No, I'm just saying that's what the 3 miles question mark. And then we have a 6-inch group at 3 miles question mark. Fishing story vibes is what they said. I don't know. I'm talking to them now. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm just, hey, I take his word for it the same way I take yours. Oh, now we got a 3 miles is BS. Ooh, Rooster, why don't you come on the show? Maybe you should come on and you guys could talk about it. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong. I don't know. And it's not up to me to decide. I take it as all our people who come on here are good people. And I'm going to listen to what they have to say. I by you speaking about drop and your doping on your scopes and all this stuff, listen, I don't think you're talking shit. So I think you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that just doesn't happen overnight.
I'm sure it doesn't.
and it's not a lot of I don't really want to say it's skill, because I can teach anybody to do it. What took a long time and hundreds of shots was setting everything up.
I bet. Yeah, you got to be.
Once you get it set up, then you're good to go. It's no different than a 100-yard range.
Now, how do you range 3 miles though? That's like, how do you get that in your brain where you can look at something? Okay, that's 3 miles away.
That gets to be what's hard to do.
I can imagine
because you got to find somewhere that's open, and they can do that.
Yeah.
And this isn't something that you can just do. Maybe like golf. You go to take your swing and you know the course that you're shooting that you're shooting golf at, like the back of your hand, but then and you might be able to get that in 2 shots, but you go to another one and it might take you 3, 4, 5, so this isn't like you can just pick up and go somewhere else and pull the same thing off.
Yep.
That would take a lot to set that back up, because you're talking, not just turning a turret, you're talking about moving, 4 mirrors on top of that.
Yeah, I mean that's mind blowing to me to hear you say that. You got to use an up and down mirror and a left and right mirror, or a right and that's fucking bananas.
See now I can take the Charlie and Delta unit off, and it's back to a normal rifle.
Now, what would you say using your, let's say, 308 with your non-Charlie, non-Delta mirrors set up on it? Just your 308 Remington 700. What do you think you can effectively ding out to?
800 yards easy with the
800. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. See, I mean, the most I've ever done is a few hundred yards. I am not proficient by any stretch, and no one's ever sat me down. I'm self-taught.
That's overkill.
Say that again.
That's overkill for 100 yards. For most things, I mean, especially if you're just shooting paper, this is one thing. Anybody that's got an AR, this is one thing I suggest everybody go get. CMMG makes one. It's an adapter kit that'll let you shoot 22 long rifle in your AR.
Yes.
You open the upper. You pull the bolt carrier out, and you just put this bolt carrier in and use their magazine. Now you can shoot 22 long rifle for dirt cheap in that thing. And if you're shooting 50, 100 yards, I carry one with me in my bag. Like I said, if I was going to head out into the woods, and you were going to get a squirrel or a rabbit, 5.56 is overkill. You toss that in there, and then you don't have to carry a second gun.
Right. Good point. Yeah, I mean, I am not formally trained at all, and I've never served that, so I have no idea. I'm just kind of like a little gun guy. I got my guns, and I like to go out plinking and shooting shit. And I've always considered, I've always like our when we fought our Revolutionary War, the people that made the difference were the squirrel hunters, right? Who had the subsistence hunt. They were considered our sharpshooters, and at least this is the story that I've always been told, and that the Kentucky windage was our best friend when we fought that war. And that's kind of like how I've always shot guns, is I'm effective out to a certain range, and if I gotta go past that, all right, I'll miss you on this one, but I pretty much got an idea of where the next one's got to be, aimed at in order to get where I need to go. So that's kind of the game that I've always played. I would love to go to somewhere, an actual school, to learn how to use my rifle effectively as a tool to get out to somewhere around 800 yards. I've never even attempted that. I think, like I said, I think the longest was like 400, maybe. I can't, whatever the longest range here in Florida that I got is. And they got like 3 stations.
I mean, in the military, that's over expert.
Oh, well, okay. Then I'm not.
But, another thing is you always got to step back and look at the big picture on anything. What was that thing invented and designed to do? All right. See, like I said, I'm going to step on some toes. You're never going to get me to carry an AK. That thing was never invented to be accurate. Okay. It's rugged and dependable. You pick it up, it's going to work. It was made to put a lot of rounds downrange, very fast, to keep heads down. It was never meant to be accurate.
Yeah.
And if you just look at the way the gun's made, it's you can't put a scope on it. Now I know I'm going to get all the keyboard warriors here saying, "Oh, you can get the adapter that goes on the side," but
that's junk.
Step back and look at the big picture. What was that thing invented for? It was invented to hold the night sight. It was never invented or meant to hold a scope. You want to get an accurate AK, you get a Dragunov. It's real simple. What was it invented to do? That's what everybody needs to sit back and look. Too many people want to buy things because they got a buddy that's got one, or they saw it on a movie or something, and it all depends on what you're going to do with it,
Yeah. Well, again, we're talking right tool for right job, right?
Exactly.
That's what it breaks down to. The correct tool for the correct job. Hal, listen, we said, Gutter and I said we were going to keep the show to 2 hours. We are now at 10:12, so we're a little over. I want to say that I want to keep the show going because you're on it and you're talking some interesting shit. But I also know we need to stick to our plan. Would you be adverse to coming on again at some point and talking some more?
No, I got the problem fixed now. See, like I was telling you, I don't run just regular computers here. Mine are actually servers. I don't have built-in audio on mine. My sound devices are FireWire. They're external rack mount units. So again, I had to call the rocket scientist, and I'm like, what do I do to make it be able to select one of the external units to let me talk on here? I've got 48 channels of input, 48 channels of output, hundreds of microphones, but no way to make it work on here. She rewrote a couple lines of code that allowed me to select one of the external units, because like I said, I'm not using a laptop. That was another thing when I told her. She's like, "Dumbass, why don't you just go get my laptop?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I didn't think about that." Because I don't use a laptop either. I don't have a smartphone. I just
because you're 55, Hal. We know. We're with you, dude.
Friggin' boomer.
I don't need one. It's a phone.
I hear you, man.
You know, all it's got to do is store a couple numbers and be able to call.
That's it. Well, okay. Well, we appreciate you being able to figure things out, Hal, and come on and finally put a voice to the name. I'm sure everybody in the chat is happy. They all seem to like your sweet ass voice. I'll tell you that. And I think the girls got all their panties wet. You might get some ladies. If you want me to give you Hal's email address, I will, and you can mail him like some virtual panties, I guess.
Yeah, I got more than I can handle right now.
Oh, jeez, listen to him brag. Nice, good for you, brother. But all right, listen, we're gonna ask you to
Bobby
sign
kept
off.
asking too. You can give him my number if you want. He was asking a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I will. I can pass along your number to Bobby. That's not a problem with you.
But yeah, did you guys ever figure out a Dropbox or something? I still got the other footage to get back to you.
No, I'm an idiot.
I'm
a fucking moron. I barely banged 2 rocks together to get this to work.
I know one of them is like box.com. I mean, it sounds like a porn site, but it's not. You know, it's just a Dropbox. You know, that way I can just, drop files on there and you can just take them off. You know, email's limited to 25 meg. You know,
right.
Gutter knows what you're talking about. You deal with her.
So I will. And you said it's just the box.com.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's one of them. You know, but I guess they're online Dropboxes or whatever. If you Googled it.
Okay. And my daughter knows that shit. I'll have her.
If in doubt, ask a 12-year-old.
That's right. Or a 30-year-old, as long as they're not 50.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool, man. Well, thank you for coming on the show.
And thank you so much for the work you guys have done on this stuff. I can't wait to figure something out.
Yeah, well, I just did a lot of those to be funny.
Yeah.
And Heather changes the words a little bit. Like I said, we're not musicians. We can just play. But the hardest part for me is getting a voice. Right. Perrin's out of town right now because she would normally do it. Like I said, told you a few weeks ago when I first sent you those few, I'm like, I'll have something for you tomorrow. I called Heather up. I'm like, go get in that raggedy ass Toyota of yours and come over here. I need a voice, So and
that was so nice. That's awesome.
But yeah, and then again, you said you wanted some heavy metal. And I'm like, actually, Donnie, the guy singing those, he's not a singer either. He's one of the lighting guys that I know.
Wow.
But
wow.
Right on.
We can play anything. There's a difference between creating and recreating.
Sure.
Like I said, we don't. None of us read or write music. We just know how to play. But
right.
Chief Smoke a Lot Hal has a thing real quick here for you. He says, Hal, when I was shot at by AKs, I never heard the 2 ping ping sounds. All you hear is the bullet hitting near you.
That's very possible. And I guess let me update that a little bit. When you're in a combat situation and there's a lot of gunfire, you're not going to hear that. But when you're pretty much out by yourself and you just get a stray round, out of nowhere coming towards you, that works. That is what you'll hear.
Well, there you go, Chief. You got your answer. All right, Hal, we're going to have to let you go. Thank you for coming on. We hope you come back again next week. We always love having you. You're always fun in the comments, and now we know to expect you in the chat. In the live. So thank you for coming, brother.
All right. Yeah, like I said, feel free to give me I got some other ideas for you if you want to give me a call tomorrow or the next day or whatever. And,
I can do that.
come up with whatever you want.
All right, brother. Thank you again. We'll talk to you soon.
Hal.
All righty.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. Hal with his sexy-ass
awesome.
voice coming on and all kinds of gun talk must have got a lot of you boners going and panties wet. So good for that. Good for that.
That was really good.
Bobby, he said I can pass along his number to you if you'd like. So I will get in touch with you and pass that along. I want to thank you guys.
I hope you're feeling all right. And he hit a telephone pole or some crazy shit I read earlier. Rooster, he hit a telephone pole. I read earlier.
Holy shit, Rooster! No shit. Did I miss that? I'm sorry, dude. But you were talking shit. Is that why you were saying, he ain't that far. He can't shoot that far. Is that what happened? You got Dane Bramage?
No.
Oh, head trauma?
Let's see. Let me see here.
Well, he says, Hal asked me for my number. Fuck off, black sheep. I guess they got a little thing going here, Black Sheep and Tony. They're getting at it.
Oh, Jesus.
Corn Pop, we did see you. Okay, I want you to know we did see you try to get on the show, but unfortunately, when we get 4 people on the show at one time, things get a little glitchy and they get a little weird. Hal has not been on the show before, so we wanted to make sure he had a chance to get on here and spend a little time with us. You want to come on?
We're not just saying you can't come on.
Yeah, we're not. No, that's what I mean. We're not saying you can't come on, but we're done for tonight. So if you want to come back next week, we'll be here on Tuesday night.
So Rooster said, I hit a telephone pole right when I got to work today. The gate opened and then started closing on my car. I tried avoiding it and made it worse. Laugh out loud.
Ah, shit. Well, if only you were driving a car that was going 3 miles an hour, you'd have made it fine. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. I'm
glad you're okay, though. Dang.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, you want to say goodbyes to everybody?
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for coming and showing up and smiling a lot and all those things and hanging with us. And this was a really good live. I'm really glad that Hal came on. That was super cool. He's super interesting, and I think that people will have lots of things to pick his brain about. So that's really cool. And he's pretty talented too. If you guys had heard the videos that he has sent us, him and his significant other and their friend there have done really well. I'm really impressed. So none of that shit I could do. None of it. So it's impressive.
Yep. I agree.
So, thanks everybody. And we will see you guys all Saturday night at Rick's if you're there. If not, we'll see you on Tuesday.
Yes, absolutely. And so we'd like to thank you guys. The show's nothing without you, but we're going to be out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we gone.